Hi, my name is David Zeidman from Zeidman Development, and today I'm going to demonstrate our new product, the Mergician. The Mergician is a utility for globally merging constituent records. Now, this functionality already exists for single constituent records to be merged, but it's very cumbersome if you have multiple records. And this utility allows you to globally merge constituent records together. The utility is based off built-in functionality of Razor's Edge. So first we're going to have a look at some of the functionality available to us. If we go to Admin and Duplicate Constituents, we can generate a report of the existing constituents in the system that are found to be duplicate. Now, these are default duplicate criteria that's set up in the configuration of Razor's Edge. You may want to add more criteria, for example address lines or zip or postal codes. But for the time being, we'll use the default values. So now we run our report. We'll ignore the query. Let's just bring that into focus here. And we can see there are, to start with, a lot of duplicates. Some have gifts, some have actions, some have a combination of both. So we can see altogether 392 duplicates found in the system. Now, this report is pretty useless as is, because we can't do anything other than merge constituents one by one, which will take a long time. So instead we use the Mergician. This can be found in the plugins. And the first step is to create a merge file. Now, you can use your own merge file if you have an external agency which has created your duplicates for you, duplicate file that is for you, but I'm going to create one here. Now, let's use the same functionality that's used in the duplicate report, only that we create a file out of it, which is useful for the application itself. So we select an output file, and then we select that we're going to have the duplicates based on the primary record based on gifts, then actions, and the old state created. We can also suggest that we don't want to merge any VIP records, or if there's an attribute such as do not merge, we can select that as well. So we'll start the merge process. And that has now generated our merge file. Now, if we were to go and look at the merge file, we'll just see two columns, one with the primary constituent ID and another with secondary constituent ID. Now, the secondary is merged into the primary. I'm going to select the control report, and we'll just have a quick look at our options here for the merge. So here are our options. Just as with the regular constituent merge, we have the facility to merge only specific areas of the constituent record, and we can untick the areas that we don't want to merge. But in this case, I think we're going to merge the entire records together. We can also decide that we want to either delete the secondary record after the merge, or if we're not ready to delete the records, we can add an attribute instead to that record, so that then at a later stage we can globally delete those secondary records by writing a query. But I think in this case I'm going to delete the records. To ensure that the constituent ID from the secondary record is not lost entirely, we can add that secondary constituent ID as an alias to the primary constituent ID, and that's what we're doing here. We're using the merge constituent ID alias and adding the secondary record's constituent ID to the primary record as an alias. So I OK the options, and I'll press start. Now, this is clearly a long process. I'm not going to force you to sit and watch the progress bar move slowly along, so we'll come back to this in a minute. So we're almost done now, and when the progress bar reaches the end, we'll be finished, and we can run the duplicate constituent report again to see if there were any records that weren't merged. And indeed, we can look at our control report as well, which will tell us if there are any errors. So whilst we wait for that just to finish off, there we go. So let's close the Mergician, and let's first of all bring up our control report. So here we see there are two errors, the same records, tend to merge together, but indeed, well, supposed to be three records, one without a primary constituent ID and two with. Now we're not able to merge records without a primary constituent or without a constituent ID. So that's why these records were not merged, and we'll have to do these manually. So let's run through the duplicate constituent report again. Just untick that. Let's run the report now. And yes, here we see the three records that are duplicates, one of them without the constituent ID, but that's the only remaining records in the system. Now, of course, we could change our duplicate criteria to a better or worse or lesser stringent match to suit our needs. But this just goes to show that the Mergician has globally merged the constituent records, the constituent duplicates in the system. If you would like any more information about the Mergician or any other products that Zeidman Development produces, or indeed if you have any requirements for bespoke customization, then please do not hesitate to get in contact with us. But for now, thanks for listening.